Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And Spark are champions!
Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
Conference glory hangs in the balance as the two teams presently tied on points for second place are just 4 points away from the table-topping Clarkstown Soccer Club as we find ourselves halfway through the Metropolitan regular season. Brooklyn City Football Club and STA, both with a record of 3 wins, 1 loss and 0 ties, will lock horns in an evening bout whose consequences may revolve around setting one of these two teams back in terms of mid to late season progress. As we take a look at the live standings, again, Clarkstown Soccer Club at the peak of the leaderboard here with the points, it should be 10 for now. That being said, right on their tails are Brooklyn City FC and STA. Again, just look at the records alone. Clarkstown Soccer Club is the only undefeated team at this moment, but only just at this moment. Sousa FC finds itself in 4th place. Downtown United Soccer Club, likewise, not too far behind. In fact, the top 5 at this moment are quite close to one another. New York Athletic Club, likewise in 6th place. Force FC New York in 7th, and in the bottom of the table, we find New York Dutch Lions FC. As all 22 starters for both sides get themselves ready right here on the touchline, Brooklyn City FC with an all-black kit accompanied by turquoise details. Meanwhile, the STA visitors with an all-white kit accompanied by black details. As we could also go over the full roster for both teams, including the starting 11. Starting first with Brooklyn City Football Club, the starters will include Cara de Blasio with the number 20, Amanda Dolan with the number 3, Kaylee Goodrich with the number 21, Ruby Hogue with the number 60, Ashley Landner, likewise with the number 26, Lena Perry with the number 0, goalkeeper of course, Alexa Piotrowski with the number 50, And the other starters likewise include the number 41, Diana Cavalieri, Calista Poulos with the number 40, Diana Cavalieri with the number 41, Katrina Santelli with the number 44, and Shyla Murray with the number 15. The rest of the squad, of course, will include Tatiana Austin with the number 7, Jessica Damon with the number 81, as well as Gabby Nicolosi with the number 8, Samantha McGurgan with the number 14, Lucy McShane with the number 16, Gabby Close with the number 5, and Alex Burtis Wyant with the number 23. And after the playing of the American national anthem, we could continue, of course, with the full roster, including the starting 11 for STA. So the starters will include Mi Karstensen with the number 23, Sofia Elgaili with the number 24, Elaida Cara with the number 7, Abby Roberts with the number 29, Adelaide Paredes with the number 1, Catherine Gilio with the number 28, Jasmine Uwatu with the number 5, Abigail Pearson with the number 3, and Lauren Alley with the number 18. Likewise, the rest of the roster will include Emma Radoncic, Danielle Davanzo, Cassidy Marfisi, and Sarah Oswald, with those numbers respectively being 27, 71, 6, and 67. Karstensen with the number 23, El Gaili with the number 24, Maria Hokel with the number 14, Aleida Carr with the number 7, Emma Radoncic with the number 27, Abby Roberts with the number 29, Adelaide Paredes with the 1, Catherine Gilio with the number 28, Jasmine Uwatu with the number 5, Abigail Pearson with the number 3, and Lauren Alley with the 18, Danielle Davanzo with the 71, Cassidy Marfisi with the 6, and Sarah Oswald with the 67. Of course, this has been a rather refined season for Brooklyn City Football Club, who, after a top 5 conference finish in 2024, is at this instant tied for second place on points on account of its 5-star front line that has manufactured 13 goals after 4 matches played. Let's note that no other Metropolitan Conference team at this moment has even reached a double-digit number of goals yet after 4 complete fixtures at the minimum. As STA will start with the ball at its feet, the referee making sure everything is in order. And live on Game in Frame, Brooklyn City Football Club and STA go head-to-head in this Women's Premier Soccer League contest. STA likewise finds itself in the same exact situation as its 2024 campaign conclusion. Of course, that is being tied on points for second place, but residing in third due to tiebreaker rules. Again, STA occupies for now the third highest spot due to Brooklyn City FC's advantageous goal differential, but a positive head-to-head result here would not only allow STA to affirmatively strip away that second place spot from its opponent, it would also shrink that 4-point gap from the top of the table currently held onto by Clarkstown Soccer Club. As getting her first touch on the ball is Lena Perry, the goalkeeper in all turquoise. Impeding on the pass immediately, STA conceding the throw-in. Brooklyn City FC to get it restarted. Dribbling away from one opponent, Katrina Santelli finding that necessary space as Elaida Cara likewise returns the favor. Toward the right-hand side it goes as Abigail Pearson steers it forward, ultimately lobbed. That back line of Brooklyn City FC being somewhat tested. Nothing directly affecting goal resulted from that play. However, it is still a promising sign. Likewise, one could give some defensive accolades toward Amanda Dolan for standing her ground. The first goal kick of this match occurring in under 2 minutes. Behind the camera is Lucas Paramo. I am Sean Cabrera. And again, you are watching the Women's Premier Soccer League right here on Game and Frame, where that required some goalkeeping intervention at the very last second, or so we would have thought. Goalkeeper apparently just inches away. Katrina Santelli with the final touch. No more than a fraction of an inch really separating the concession of goal and the allowance of that. Optical illusion perhaps from here, according to the referee's decision. As Santelli nearly finds her side the first advantage here on the scoreboard. As that ball goes out of bounds, aimed toward de Blasio. And of course, this broadcast has been brought to you by Salt Athletic. Salt Athletic has made the Aircase, the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag that blocks smell by using antimicrobial technology that makes for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt Athletic is offering the Game and Frame community an exclusive discount, so scan the QR code on your screen to get 10% off and keep it fresh. Brooklyn City FC with the interception as she steers it forward all by herself. Left-footed shot straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. An ambitious effort from Ashley Ladner, who wasn't too far away from the sniff at goal. She did place it on target after all. As STA now relies on the footwork of Eleida Cara, who gets away from one. Eleida, that's a lovely lob, just barely hugging the touchline. Excellent swerve, escaping from 1, 2, she's all open, inside the penalty area, shot wide! Abigail Pearson with a golden opportunity. No traffic in her way. And unable to place it on target. Maybe a costly miss at goal. And you have to admire the build-up. Eleida Cara with a fantastic lob. Just barely nicking that touchline. Having made that connection with Sofia Elgaili. Again, these two teams currently tied on points for second place. Brooklyn City FC has the upper hand, though, thanks to goal differential, which in reality wouldn't be possible without its front line. Again, 13 goals to its name. The next closest, or I should say the closest team following Brooklyn City FC would be Clarkstown Soccer Club, who has 9 goals to its name. That being said, though, despite the goal differential, of course, favoring Brooklyn City FC, these two teams have a near identical goals scored to goals allowed ratio. For BCFC, it's 13 goals scored, 6 allowed. Nearly a 2-to-1 ratio exactly, as Eleida Cara builds up that play with Sofia Elgaili. Elgaili with some reinforcement as well, picking her pocket excellently, looking for that space, playing it backwards, still in the opposition's third, as Abigail Pearson, who was last seen with that shot off target, looking for some redemption, looking for some rebuilding. All 10 outfielders in the opposition's half. Of those 10, 8 of those in the final third, so it's an aggressive approach. And if we were to continue with the counting here, 3 to 4 were inside the penalty area. Again, an aggressive approach by STA. Speaking of course, STA, they have exactly a 2-to-1 goal scored to goals allowed ratio, respectively 8 to 4. As a throw-in will occur now for STA, not too far away from the halfway line, about 5 yards in front of it, in fact, in the opposition's half, as Pearson was surrounded by many, and at the end she commits a foul out of desperation in hopes of retaining the ball itself. Shoved off the ball cleanly as well. Equal 50 to 50 shoulder charge. Favored STA in that moment, but not in the general scheme. It's a throw-in now for Brooklyn City FC. Launching it forward, Alexa Piotrowski. Piotrowski connects with Kaylee Goodrich. Kaylee, who was a key figure in this home opening bout of the season. Also, to set the scene here, 65 degrees Fahrenheit in Brooklyn, New York. Excellent cross, making contact inside the penalty area, poked away desperately and eventually cleared out of harm's way. It's a throw-in for BCFC. Again, 65 degrees Fahrenheit here in Brooklyn, New York. A bit odd considering that has otherwise been a very humid week in New York City. Crossed inside the penalty area, making contact with the head of a Brooklynite. Ball still in play. Played backwards ultimately, outside the penalty area. Ashley Ladner finding that space, that left-hand side more specifically. Caterina Santelli unable to make a connection with the ball. The same cannot be said for Cavalieri. Cavalieri helping out as well, Ashley Ladner. The two with some reciprocal aid. As eventually Lena Perry from well outside her 18-yard box plays it toward Cavalieri. Cavalieri toward Piotrowski. Piotrowski, right-footed pass along that right wing as well. Poulos hunting down that ball slowly. And likewise taking advantage, all about tenacity, all about patience here, as Calista Poulos was able to take the ball away from Sofia Elgaili. And a collision there, more precisely about the knee. Brooklyn City FC now defending its own penalty area, crossed toward that near post, not too far away as Lena Perry with a two-hand parry, in fact keeps it scoreless here at the 10th minute. A snapshot attempt from within the penalty area. Lena Perry with firm control and firm reflexes to complement that. The first corner kick of this match occurring within the 10th minute. STA likewise with some excellent counterattacking there. Crossed. It was never really going to make contact with any STA player. It was a sea of black and turquoise. Abigail Pearson unable to beat the marker. Shyla Murray. Murray goes down. Referee deems it as clean. No controversy there as Abigail Pearson. Pearson playing it forward. Connects with her midfielder. Once more, some great defending on both ends. Again, we're starting to see why these two teams are exactly in a top 3 position. But in order to stay in a top 3 position, arguably, one has to escape here with a win. Goal kick for Brooklyn City FC. One shot on target so far in this match. That shot on target belonging to STA, which required some parry intervention. Likewise, the winds here building up, winds of 10 miles per hour. Now 11 actually, with the weather report being updated. So 11 mile per hour winds, gusts of up to 18. And of course, it is a very cloudy day here, or evening, better said. cleared away toward the nearest sideline. It's a throw-in for Brooklyn City Football Club. In fact, slightly ominous clouds considering that it has been raining for the majority of this weekend so far. Ball still up high in the air. Playing it back, STA not playing with fire as Kara out-dribbles her opponent for now. Kara escapes from one, escapes from two, giving it away to the third defender at the end as Piotrowski intercepts. Piotrowski, it's de Blasio in the driver's seat. Crossing it, cleared away. Looking for the infraction. It was never going to be a foul. She made an intentful play of steering it forward. It was a good idea at the end to try to win the infraction, but far too late and not convincing enough for the referee. As Piotrowski with the throw-in. There is about a 30% chance of precipitation here in this part of Brooklyn, New York, as the evening goes on. So that could play an additional factor. But for now, it's more about that surprising chill. Thrown into play by STA. STA, for a moment at the feet of Karstensen. Not too much ball time relatively. Playing it forward. Radoncic, number 27, likewise starter here. Playing that holding midfielder role at this moment. That back line of four being tested as BCFC looks for an early cross. Specifically de Blasio. De Blasio picking out her target, connects barely with the head. Another chance here. Ladner, who likewise took a shot on target. One shot on target apiece for these two teams. As the referee, and still some order here. Scolding specifically Emma Radoncic. Played laterally by Abby Roberts. Abby Roberts connects with Karstensen. Karstensen sharing the ball as well with Jasmine Uwatu. Given away. Brooklyn City Football Club outside the penalty area. You can't deny them. Not the first time that we've seen this. Brooklyn City Football Club scoring from outside the penalty area. Some things just go together perfectly. Peanut butter and jelly. Brooklyn City Football Club and goals from outside the 18-yard box. 1-0 is the scoreline here. Just a perfect match overall. We saw it in the home opener, in fact, on a very, very rainy evening. 2 goals had occurred from outside the penalty area. Knocked forward as STA, playing with fire here, eventually cleared away by Abby Roberts. As Alexa Piotrowski takes the throw in here. That goal from outside the box being scored by Kaylee Goodrich, the number 21. With some distinctly neon cleats. An excellently placed shot. Her talent clearly as bright as her cleats as she's thinking about another here. Left foot line up. Oh, she makes it 2! Goal! Talk about goals from outside the penalty area. 2-0. Within perhaps a 4-minute span, Brooklyn City Football Club doubles the lead in astounding fashion. Goodrich took it all upon herself, steering it centrally, placing it perfectly. A magnificent goal An eye-opener, certainly. For one side, for now, it's an eye-opener of excitement and joy. For another, it's an eye-opener of concern. 2-0 the scoreline, all in favor of Brooklyn City Football Club, who has perhaps been the big name here this season in the WPSL in the Metropolitan Conference. Rarely do you get to see a team improve so much within a season span, yet here we are. At this moment, Brooklyn City FC with a firm control of second place, meaning that at this moment it would be just a point away from Clarkstown SC. "15 goals likewise scored so far this season for Brooklyn City Football Club, according to the WPSL. Throw-in for STA, who likewise had a fantastic opportunity toward Lena Perry's near post. Both goals, again, if you're just tuning in, coming from outside the 18-yard box. Kaylee Goodrich, the author of both goals. First half brace for the number 21, both of which from outside the penalty area. Shots from approximately 20 yards, if not 19 yards away from goal. As for now, Brooklyn City Football Club with the throw-in. And with the 2-goal advantage, Goodrich unable to make contact on the ball. It's another throw-in for Ruby Hogue. Ruby, Kaylee Goodrich, already on a brace, looking for a 3rd goal contribution. Gara involves herself in that defensive sequence. As they're not out of the woods yet, Murray had a duo of white jerseys covering her, unable to win that aerial duel. Ruby Hogue knocked it out of play. Good job by the number 60 of Brooklyn City FC, stalling the opposition. No counters available here as we have 2 substitutions for Brooklyn City Football Club. Entering the game will be Gabby Nicolosi alongside Alex Burtis Wyant, so the number 8 and 23 respectively. Question is, who will come off? Through pass, Piotrowski defending well. Gambling a little bit, but well positioned, the number 50. Radoncic with a clever little cut and draw of an infraction. 2 substitutions here for Brooklyn City FC. 1 for STA. As we can confirm that Murray has exited the game for now, alongside Cara de Blasio. Aerial attack here, Perry! Brave goalkeeping, exiting her own 6-yard box and looking to provide a counter of her own here. That's a booming punt, making its way past the 40-yard line. Another chance here for Brooklyn City FC, stalled for now, as Catherine Guillo, number 28, doing her job. Ruby Hogue. Now at the feet of Cavalieri. STA giving away the ball dangerously, forcing the pass down the middle. The same could be said, however, for Piotrowski. A little too ambitious as she's offside. Good eye by the assistant referee. Her entire left side of her body very clearly offside. Brooklyn City FC with the free kick. Goodrich trying to put on a show as well, connecting that ball with her heel. Goodrich telling her teammate as to where the ball should be played, and that's a lovely one toward Nicolisi. Nicolisi using her pace, unable to catch it in time. As for now, it's a goal kick. Brooklyn City Football Club would like to thank its sponsor, Berry Park. Berry Park is North Brooklyn's premier venue for all things soccer. From Gotham FC watch parties to the Club World Cup on 4 screens, this is where fans come to watch it all. Berry Park, Lena Perry, retreating toward her goal line. A cross, given away, STA inside the 18-yard box. Can't break down that black and turquoise mural. Goodrich, 2 goals to her name. Already a player of the match performance. And of course we say that as we have just approached the halfway mark of the first half. Incredibly impactful, the number 21 of Brooklyn City FC. Lobbed away. STA. Dolan doing her job alongside Hogue. Cavalieri toward Perry, who has arguably been more involved in the offensive side of the ball than the defensive one. And when one is a goalkeeper, that's always a good sign. It means that your team is forcing the opponent onto its own back foot. STA, right-footed cross, not a bad one whatsoever. That should be a foul. Referee says no. A slightly confusing call there as Amanda Dolan had clearly been kicked down, unintentionally, admittedly. Kaylee Goodrich, thinking about the hat trick, she would have had 3 goals from outside the 18-yard box. Now that would have been historic. But again, we're just halfway through the first half. There's still a lot of time left for Kaylee Goodrich and that desire to get an outstanding hat trick of goals from outside the 18-yard box. Lobbed forward as well. Ileida Cara really orchestrating the entire offense for now as she delivers another cross. One that curls more wide than anything else, but it gives her teammate just enough space. Abigail Pearson, quick 1-2s with Uatu. And eventually cleared away by Dolan, who arguably should have been given that foul earlier, or I should say free kick earlier. Regardless, Amanda Dolan with some firm defense today. Nothing getting past her. She, alongside the members of the back line, plus the goalkeeper herself, only conceding 1 shot on target so far in this game. Brooklyn City Football Club relying on Lena Perry, who clears it away from outside her 18-yard box, just on the edge of her own penalty arc. Clear shove from behind. Lena Perry likewise receiving some accolades from the coaching staff as well as her teammates on the bench here. For now, a well-deserved clean sheet. Of course, we're under a half hour of completion in this match. Again, a lot of change could happen, but for now, Lena Perry doing her job, being proactive. Some offensive actions outside her penalty area, some defensive actions outside her penalty area. Substitution in effect here for STA. Emma Radoncic exits the game for now, replaced by Sarah Oswald. STA with a 2-goal deficit. And in fact, STA looking to avoid a 3-goal deficit. So far, of its 4 games so far this season, I believe 3 of them have ended with a 2-goal difference, whether victorious or losing, that is. For now, it's a 2-goal hole for STA. That isn't shrunk, as Lena Perry could pick this ball up with her hands, eventually does so. Lena Perry. Another monstrous punt. This one making its way past the 30-yard line. Coast to coast that ball goes. Should be a goal kick. Lena Perry. Well, when you have a goalkeeper like that who can distribute so powerfully from her own 18-yard box into the opposition's penalty area, then suddenly you have an increasing sense of danger, if not creativity. Danger, of course, for the opposition, creativity for the local side. Goodrich receiving the throw-in. Goodrich likewise playing a much deeper role so far in comparison to how she had started. Play toward the left flank, a little too much juice behind the pass, as Alex Burtis-Wyant was the intended recipient. As it's gotten a touch colder here in Brooklyn, 64 degrees Fahrenheit. Although it feels colder than that. Takeaway, Brooklyn City FC. Several Cruyff turns later, she connects with Nicolisi. Nicolisi driving it along the ground. Interception for STA. Piotrowski with a high press. And that's a great find. When you're in that tight of a spot, and when a play like this results, it's a promising sign. Eventually cleared away by Hogue. For now, still 2-0. Slight shove from behind. Piotrowski eventually wins the goal kick. Lena Perry applauding that defensive effort. 2 more substitutes to enter the game here for BCFC, the number 16 and 5 respectively. That's Lucy McShane alongside Gabby Klaus. Exiting the game is Callista Poulos alongside Katrina Santelli. Controlling with the left shoulder, lobbing it upward. Ilida Cara, who has otherwise been the most vital player of STA so far in this match. Playing everywhere on the field except in goal, although I wouldn't be surprised at one point if she were to do so. Lobbed away, Kaylee Goodrich. Still contesting for the ball, Goodrich. Strong knock forward. And it's Abby Roberts who puts it out of play. Nicolisi won't be taking this throw-in, though she would be the nearest player. A little too strong, that pass. A giveaway of a throw-in, as STA can now take a sigh of relief. We've approached the half-hour mark here. It's 2-0 in favor of Brooklyn City Football Club. Both goals orchestrated by Kaylee Goodrich from outside the 18-yard box. Again, you did not mishear that. Kaylee Goodrich, 2 goals outside the penalty area. One toward the bottom corner, well placed. The other one with a curling effort. Pushed forward. Alex Burtis-Wyant. As eventually Adelaide Paredes, the goalkeeper in Volt Green, plays it toward a nearby Abby Roberts. Made its way toward the halfway line and results in a giveaway. BCFC. Good vision. You could say that for both players, as Abby Roberts does just enough to slow down the offense. Goodrich dribbles away from her opponent. Abigail Pearson couldn't strip the ball off her opponent. Kaylee Goodrich putting on an exhibition, an absolute spectacle for now. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Kaylee Goodrich has attempted 3 shots in this match. 2 resulted in goal. 1 resulted off target, though not by much, as Nicolisi takes it away. The substitute versus Paredes. Paredes! Block save, a block stop. Doing just enough to escape that slippery situation. Nicolisi nearly slithered her way into the back of the net. Paredes, a very busy goalkeeper this evening at the moment. STA inside the penalty area, right-footed cross. Perry stripping it in the air, intercepting it. She's an absolute ball hawk at this moment. Is nearby her penalty area, if not within the 18-yard box. Nothing can get past her at this moment. Nicolisi would have been most likely offside. Regardless, STA keeps it alive, keeps it in play. Good communication from STA. Forcing the number 26, Ashley Ladner, out of position. Lena Perry could be tested. A high lob, not a million miles away. Still forced Perry into a precautionary dive. A respectable effort from STA. It's still scoreless on that end. However, it's still an admirable effort at the end of the day. Re-entering the game is Sofia Elgaili alongside Emma Radoncic. Seeing the bench for now is Abigail Pearson alongside Maria Hokel. Perry not tested in that situation. Her back line doing its job. Elena Cara, who has been the de facto quarterback here of her team. She's really been stringing together all those plays. If she's not attacking down the middle of the field, if not in the opposition's third, she's defending her own left-hand side. She's playing multiple roles all at the same time. Shot caller, last line of defense. Ileda Cara doing a great job, as in fact right now she dashes toward that left flank. Looking at that early cross, Cara forced to defend against Nicolisi. Cara once more. Again, you have to applaud that. When a player puts in that much effort and complements it with a good amount of skill, it is something almost enchanting, as that's a clear foul in favor of Brooklyn City FC. That could have been a yellow card. We already saw one against STA when Kaylee Goodrich scored her second. To whom it was addressed wasn't really clear. Piotrowski. Right-footed, never made its way into the opposition's third fully. That being said, it does result in a free kick here. We'll see where the referee marks the ball. Right on the 30-yard line, so it's a 40-yard free kick. And if there's one person I want on this ball, it perhaps would be Kaylee Goodrich. You do have to be a little bit crazy to think about placing this on target, but that is perhaps what Kaylee Goodrich needs in order to complete that hat trick of outside-the-box goals. Again, a 40-yard free kick. She encounters a 3 STA wall. Lobbed, Goodrich. Wasn't too far away. Nobody made contact at the end. Goal kick for Paredes, who was last seen with a starfish block against Nicolisi. Good defense from Gabby Klaus. Gabby still tracking the ball handler. Everyone contributing to the defense. Nobody is excused. STA playing it centrally. Through pass. Cut down by Cavalieri. Bertus Wyant. McShane. How did she find Kaylee Goodrich? Kaylee Goodrich with a lot of space, selflessly playing it toward that right-hand side. Bertus Wyant trying to find that 5-hole. Paredes with a good kick save. Kaylee Goodrich with nearly her third goal contribution of this first half. That is just sublime transition from defending to attacking in the blink of an eye. Corner kick here for Brooklyn City Football Club. Left-footed, into the air it goes, Paredes. Good goalkeeping as well, intercepting that cross. The punt with just a little too much skip behind it. Nicolisi backtracking. McShane with some zonal marking almost takes it away. And guess who's there to the rescue? It's Cara. Kaylee Goodrich with some futsal-like dribbling gets punished for it. Referee says no foul. Radoncic with substitute Sarah Oswald playing it forward. STA thinking about the shot. At the end, she wanted to play it with the outside part of her right foot. Was planning on turning that into a through pass in reality, as Paredes clears it away from outside her 18-yard box. Eleida Cara, not only did she get a great first touch, but she also drew the foul. If Kaylee Goodrich is arguably the player of the match for Brooklyn City FC, the player of the match for STA would likely be Eleida Cara. Nicolisi keeps it alive. She was onside the whole time, of course. Right-footed cross. Ball still inside! Off the post! Off the post! Denied only by the woodwork. Paredes very fortunate to not concede a third. Entering the game will be Tatiana Austin, the number 7. Tatiana replaces, for now, Ashley Ladner, who took the first shot, let alone shot on target, in this match for BCFC. No foul, says the referee. Lucy McShane went to the ground. Tatiana Austin not getting nutmeg. That's good defense. And man, when you have a bench like this with so much depth from the Brooklyn City FC end, again, a sign of promising things to come. And that's with a 2-goal advantage right now, as we've approached the final 5 minutes here in this first half, without stoppage time included, although I don't think we'd be seeing too much, maybe at most a minute or two, and even then that's being quite generous. Perry was asking for the pass, but I'm sure she's fine with the dribbling of her defender. The wind's building up here, certainly feeling the 18-mile-per-hour gusts. Nicolisi, right-footed piece of control. Piotrowski, tussling for the sphere, winning it at the end, the number 50. Giving it away. Tried filtering that pass between 2 white jerseys. STA. Kaylee Goodrich, backtracking. Cavalieri. Goodrich. Nicolisi asking for the ball. Oh, that would have been a great idea. She was onside the whole time. She would have otherwise been in her own half. Cavalieri pinpointing that ball toward Kaylee Goodrich. Goodrich. Bertus Wyant asking for the foul. The referee indicating that the ball had been touched first before Bertus Wyant had collided with the STA player. Piotrowski. Ball goes out of play for a consecutive BCFC throw-in. Sweater weather in June here, mid-June, may I remind you. Right-footed cross, that should be an STA ball anytime, any day. Piotrowski, lovely early cross in the air. Wasn't too far away from Gabby Klaus. Tatiana Austin backtracking alongside Kaylee Goodrich. Kaylee Goodrich going from practically second striker, if one wants to label it as such, to now a deep-lying playmaker. Austin on the ball, on the left flank. Accelerates just enough to force that touch. It's a throw-in for Brooklyn City FC. And as of right now, Brooklyn City Football Club has scored 15 goals in this campaign. And may I remind you that BCFC is the only Metropolitan Conference team with a double-digit number of goals. Lena Perry asking for the ball from outside her 18-yard box. Not a bad idea at all. Nicolisi. Well, at the end it escapes her, showing some signs of frustration on her face. Nicolisi wrestling the ball back. The referee unintentionally impeding the Brooklynite, Lucy McShane. STA, good block by Ruby Hogue. Cleared up high, but not too long. Gabby Klaus, unafraid of the aerial challenge, does just enough to get it away. STA. The player's in white with some good connection. Now inside the penalty area she goes, along the ball. There goes Lena Perry, making sure that there's no spill. There might have been a last-second deviation. It might have just been redirected by the outstretched left foot of Ruby Hogue. Regardless, Lena Perry keeping her clean sheet in this first half for now. Paredes. So Ilaida Cara once more trying to build something. Results in a BCFC ball as we find ourselves within the final 15 seconds for this first period of action. Bertus Wyant doing all she can to win that ball back via throw-in. Ilaida Cara had other plans. And STA gets the final touch of the ball here in these first 45 minutes. And of course, the scoreline is Brooklyn City Football Club 2, STA 0. Stay with us as we'll show the fresh plays of the month, messages from our sponsors, halftime analysis, and the second half. This is the WPSL Metropolitan Conference right here on Game and Frame.
Chavez tries to go through the legs of Richmond. Richmond stuffs him down. And through three! Through, my goodness! Nutmeg after nutmeg for the captain.
Aim towards finding the second goal of the match. Nika gets the back ball. Nika swerves past three defenders. He finds the shot from Afif, and they find that goal that they were looking for. Afif scores a 2-1 lead for Red Hook FC. What a move there by Mika once again to create an opening for his team.
Thompson turns that clearance into a pass. Lovely footwork from Bailey Hill.
What a ball that is, and Jack Stainrod has brought it down. He might be in here. Jack Stainrod, 2. Give him a sight of goal, and he will bite your hand off. It was a sensational ball by Jacob Woznicki. And once Jack Stainrod was in behind, was there any doubt as to the outcome?
Another drive here for Cedar Stars rush denied by the Staten Island Monarchs as Jaheim Foston stares back at his opponent, having out-dribbled him first. Foston putting on a show. This is starting to look like street soccer now.
And still now everyone hacking at it, chopping at it. Ridge Robinson, he lunges forward, he comes up with the ball, he goes for the shot, and he goes for the goal. My goodness, a hat trick here for the captain.
Anderson brought down, back up on his feet. Anderson, oh, beautiful move, he's still going. Jaganjor Yangbi. Yangbi shows off some pace behind Oberuk. Yangbi could be one-on-one. McGovern comes over. Yangbi screws it. Espinosa 1-0. Yangbi a debut assist, and Espinosa has his 7th goal of the season. He has the last 2 goals overall for Richmond, and they get the counter going like they did last week against a team that has much more possession than them, and they've scored to open up the match and make it 1-0.
As now Matthew Heath puts his ball into the air. Good first touch by Olivier Karbovnik. Karbovnik somehow sambas his way past a trio of Monarchs.
Sullivan's able to turn, and he finds Nelson Reynoso, who whips it in. What a ball that is! Equaliser for Meadowville. A peach of a cross by Nelson Reynoso. And applying the finish, Bolt Hazard Saunders with precision. And look at the fans and what it means to them. And the referee's getting started down. That's a lovely pirouette. Hi, Pardini.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer, and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
That's a good bit of footwork there by Spalding, who's gone for a spacious shot! It's magnificent by Spalding!
as the halftime break nearly complete here, where the scoreline is currently 2-0 for the local Brooklyn City Football Club side against its STA foes. However, before we can dive into the analysis here, I would like to remind you that this broadcast has been brought to you by Salt Athletic. Salt Athletic has made the Air Case, the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag that blocks smell by using antimicrobial technology that makes for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt Athletic is offering the Game and Frame community an exclusive discount, so scan the QR code on your screen to get 10% off and keep it fresh with the Salt Athletic Air Case. Likewise, Brooklyn City Football Club would like to thank its sponsor, Berry Park. Berry Park is North Brooklyn's premier venue for all things soccer. From Gotham FC watch parties to the Club World Cup, which in fact is going to begin tonight, or has begun already, this is where fans come to watch it all, Berry Park. Again, the FIFA Club World Cup starting 3 minutes ago technically, between Inter Miami and Al Ahly. Again, STA looking to claw back from this 2-goal hole. However, what do the visitors need in order to equalize or even come away with a comeback win? Well, it all surrounds defense. Let's think about those 2 goals conceded. Those 2 goals scored by Kaylee Goodrich. Those 2 things had one thing in common. Outside the 18-yard box, Kaylee Goodrich was given just enough space to pull the trigger and find the back of the net on both occasions, and she nearly had a hat trick of them, one barely going over the crossbar, but even then, that's something to consider. The zonal marking of STA has been a weakness and a strength all at the same time. However, with this 2-goal deficit, it would most likely be a weakness for now. So STA should or could perhaps consider switching from a zonal marking system to a man-to-man marking system. And in doing so, Kaylee Goodrich, as well as her BCFC allies, would have little to no space to punish them from distance. As Brooklyn City Football Club gets the ball rolling, it's a throw-in for STA. Meanwhile, this key will go hand in hand in reality for Brooklyn City Football Club, assuming STA plays with the same system defensively. It's to continue punishing the team from distance. If it isn't going to be those Kaylee Goodrich shots that get Brooklyn City FC once again on the scoreboard and leaderboard for that matter, it will be those early crosses. This one nearly trickling its way into the 18-yard box cleanly. Eventually played out wide by STA using the outside part of her foot. The referee deems it a handball. Can't say I agree with that one too much, considering that the hand wasn't extended and it was merely covering her face. I wouldn't say it's in an unnatural position per FIFA regulations. Regardless, 2-0 is the scoreline as Perry gets her gloves dirty for the first time in this second half. Rolled forward. Clever roll away as well by Poulos. Don't know how she kept that ball in her pocket, but she did. Poulos dropping the shoulder, looking for that space. Clawing, fighting tooth and nail for every inch, for every yard. Brooklyn City Football Club with the throw-in. All the way back to Perry. As now we can continue with the keys to the game for Brooklyn City FC. Again, we had mentioned punishing the team from distance with those early crosses, if not shots from outside the 18-yard box. That has been working like magic. As now STA momentarily takes the ball away. Cavalieri doing well to guard her opponent, and it's a goal kick. An unlucky moment for STA, who for sure thought it had won itself a corner kick. That's a call almost too close to determine, even from the broadcasting standpoint. Goal kick for the local team in black and turquoise. Poked away. So again, to summarize the keys to the game here, for STA, it's to consider the application of a man-to-man system defensively. Cut down that space granted to BCFC that would otherwise result in early crosses and shots from outside the 18-yard box. Meanwhile, for Brooklyn City FC, if it isn't broke, don't fix it, as the saying goes. Continue utilizing that space. Continue punishing the opposition from outside the 18-yard box. And again, punish the opposition for every inch of space granted to you. Paredes, likewise, getting herself involved in the offensive sequence here. STA practically forced for now into burrowing into its own third. Kaylee Goodrich now playing as a striker, given her position in that moment. Last seen as a deep-lying playmaker, or she likewise made an impact. Admittedly, not on the scoreboard, but in other facets of the game. Early cross. That's a lovely one at that. Volley just over the bar. That could have been 2-1. And perhaps that should have been 2-1. A divine cross that just sneaks past the fullback of Brooklyn City Football Club. Excellently filtered pass. Still a shutout for Perry, who officially has one save to her name, and it was a great save too. Ladner. Played forward by Radoncic. Looking about the space that Perry can likewise utilize. For a moment, that looked like a deadly ball for Elida Cara, sorry. As Elida Cara and teammates all backtrack, BCFC winning a throw-in in the opposition's third. For now, BCFC burning some seconds here. 5 minutes have gone by in the second half. For now, no surprises as the Radiohead song goes. STA with its clearance blocked. Paredes can recover that loose ball. That's a good punt as well. Both these goalkeepers with practically robotic legs. Atomic punts from both goalkeepers. And maybe that's another facet of the game we haven't really expanded upon during the halftime analysis, as Kaylee Goodrich looking for that third goal contribution, denied by the assistant referee, and that offside flag. An unlucky call for the local side, specifically for Shyla Murray. Very unlucky. Although I can't say the assistant referee was wrong. STA playing it forward. Radoncic goes down. No foul, says the referee. Kaylee Goodrich. She has been a workhorse. Looking for goal contribution number 3. Placed on target. Paredes well positioned. Everybody held their breath for a moment as Santelli let it fly. Lobbed forward. Lena Perry takes control of the ball, eventually being forced into picking it up. Although not the smoothest connection with the ball, she does connect at the end with Kaylee Goodrich. Arguably the first punt of Perry that wasn't atomic, but was still, regardless, accurate. Goodrich Clever little lob. Just a very slight flick as she's wrestled off the ball. The referee says no foul in favor of Pulos, as Perry, regardless, rushed off her goal line, rushed outside her 18-yard box to recover that loose pass. However, the assistant referee, likewise, quick into raising the offside flag. 2 offside calls here, 1 apiece in these initial 8 minutes or so. Ashley Ladner has her pass intercepted. Returning the favor, Katrina Santelli, who was last seen placing a shot on target toward Paredes, who really didn't have to rely on any dive nor reflex. All about positioning on her last save. And in the first half, it took about 10 minutes for the first corner kick to appear. For now, no corner kick at this moment, though there is a foul drawn by Shyla Murray. As the head coach of Brooklyn City Football Club explains some tactics regarding the triangulation of midfielders, Ruby Hogue, Amanda Dolan, Cruyff turned by Ashley Ladner, connecting with Ruby Hogue. Some stellar dribbling and passing from BCFC. Shyla Murray. Murray enters the 18-yard box. Well, she had previously won a free kick like that in her own half, but not this time. The referee adamant on that goal kick decision. Again, behind the camera is Lucas Paramo. I am Sean Cabrera, and you are watching the Women's Premier Soccer League right here on Game in Frame. Brooklyn City Football Club with the 2-goal advantage. Both goals thanks to Kaylee Goodrich from outside the penalty area. One toward the bottom corner, another one that curled its way into the back of the net. Requiring different techniques, but resulting, of course, in score. And of course, this won't be the only piece of Brooklyn City Football Club action, as BCFC 2 will defend its borough from cross-state opponent Union Soccer Club at 3:30 p.m. in the Women's Premier Soccer League 2nd Division. This Wednesday, June 18th, New York Athletic Club will hop on a downtown train in order to face Brooklyn City FC in a WPSL Metropolitan Conference face-off at 7:30 p.m. All these matches will be broadcast exclusively here on Game in Frame, your home for grassroots soccer. Play toward the right flank and prodded away. Throwing for the team in black and turquoise. Pulos. Oh, she goes down. That could be a penalty call. The referee says no. Maybe the first controversial decision of the match. It took nearly an hour for it to occur. Collision of cleats, very audible. And it's a foul blown against Brooklyn City Football Club. Seemed like a fair exchange of collision. At the end, though, BCFC re-wins the ball in the middle third. Kaylee Goodrich putting on an exhibition with a Ronaldo-like chop, only to push it inward as well, all to herself, drawing the infraction. The referee signals advantage. Onside is Ruby Hogue. Ruby out-dribbling one fullback. Ruby thinking about the assist or the goal, but it is firm hands. Sudden electricity from Ruby Hogue. punted away. The first punt in a very long while from the opposition's goalkeeper that doesn't make it past the 40-yard line. That is, of the opposition's half. For now, no sign of precipitation. Still a touch chilly, however, 64 degrees Fahrenheit in Brooklyn, New York, with winds of 11 miles per hour, gusts of up to 18. Nothing too game-changing, unlike Zanelli's header, which connected well with her teammate, Goodrich. Goodrich snuffing that play down, extinguishing what could have been any offensive progress. Radoncic forced off the ball by a proactive Ashley Ladner. Poulos ultimately gives it away. Poulos slowing down her opponent. The referee signals advantage. STA in the opposition's half. Now 18-yard box. Perry. Very brave. Taking the ball away ultimately from Sarah Oswald, who was a second late to the party. The defense on full lockdown. Still scoreless. Only allowing one shot on target. Lovely ball. Into the air it goes. Oh, she's offside. Katrina Zanelli was offside. And I imagine, once again, not by much. Without a doubt, the closest offside call of this match at this moment. And again, the only controversial moment from the arbitrating standpoint, maybe that penalty no call. Otherwise, things could have gone from bad to worse for STA. Ball eventually going out of play. It's not a bad idea, but there's way too much power behind that pass. And it's Alina Perry goal kick. Jasmine Uatu to re-enter the game, replacing the number 23, Mie Karstensen. So Karstensen exits the game for now. Lauren Alley keeping a close eye on Shyla Murray. Kept in play. Lena Perry could be punished. Sarah Oswald. It's just such good defending. Specifically from Ruby Hogue. Ruby has been golden in that back line. Substitution in effect, likewise, for the local team. Lucy McShane re-enters the game. Exiting the game is Callista Poulos, the number 40. A header won by Katrina Zanelli. And if she keeps attacking like she has been for the past 10 minutes or so, then Zanelli maybe do a goal here in this match. Nice lob. Solid way to pick out your teammate in white. That cross blocked by Ruby Hogue. Ruby, who has been immaculate on the defensive end, has Shyla Murray to help her out. Murray. Kaylee Goodrich. And here comes the counter. For now, it's a 3-on-4. Brooklyn City Football Club. Just a little too wide, just barely escaping her reach. De Blasio. Lucy McShane, the substitute, toward Ladner, who took the first shot on target in this game. Blocked first by a white jersey. And Zanelli did well to control it with her chest, but in attempting to volley it, ultimately a whiff. Would have been very Zidane-like had she put that into the back of the net. Although she would have shot that with her right foot, not that left-footed volley, famous from Zinedine Zidane in the UEFA Champions League in the very early 2000s. Through pass along the right-hand side. It's Goodrich. Kaylee Goodrich could go for the hat trick. Not too far away either. Forced Paredes into a dive. 2 for 4 for now for Goodrich. 2 shots on target, 2 goals out of 4 total attempts. I'd call that a very impressive ratio. As Ruby Hogue applauds Shyla Murray for her efforts as she's replaced by Samantha McGurgan. Kaylee Goodrich. Santelli. First touch was there, the second one ultimately a giveaway. Lucy McShane ultimately nutmegged as well. Lateral play by STA. The right winger. Quick 1-2s. A little too obvious for Amanda Dolan and company. Santelli chasing down the ball. Santelli! Even 50-50 charge in the eyes of the referee. Even with Kaylee Goodrich asking for a call in favor of her side. And it's Catherine Giglio who's down on the ground, the number 28 for STA, perhaps trying to catch her breath. As she's finally stood up, her hands on her legs as she's bent over for now. As Perry recovers the loose pass. It's good to see that Catherine Giglio is back in action, nothing too serious. A momentary knock. Perry opting to roll it out, which has been a relative rarity in this match. And again, if this result stands, STA could go further down depending the other matches of the 4th and 5th place teams here in the WPSL Metropolitan Conference. Meanwhile, for Brooklyn City Football Club, it would have a firm hold of 2nd place, being just 1 point away from the table toppers. As Lena Perry looks to maintain her clean sheet, it's 2-1! STA putting it into the far post. Finesse at its finest. Jasmine Uatu making an impact. 2-1 is the scoreline. No shutout for BCFC. And with just about 24 minutes left, suddenly it's game on. That took some inspired dribbling from the players in white, more specifically from Uatu, who forced Perry into exiting her 6-yard box to close down the angle, as Kaylee Goodrich gets a firm scolding from the referee. And now one has to question the strategies, perhaps, of BCFC. You have a 2-1 advantage. Do you risk it to find that 3rd goal, or do you park the bus, as many say? Go all defense. Apparently we'll find an answer right here as Kaylee Goodrich connects with Samantha McGurgan. Samantha, cross! Almost into a BCFC player. Kaylee Goodrich going for the volley. Never made a full connection with the ball, and here comes Sarah Oswald being interrupted by Amanda Dolan at the halfway line. Samantha. Lovely 1-2, although halted by Radoncic. Samantha slowing down STA in its own third. 2 goals by Kaylee Goodrich, 1 goal by Jasmine Uatu, who gorgeously found the far post. No goalkeeper on earth would have stopped that. It was not about power, it was about placement. And as we had said earlier, pure finesse. Ruby Hogue, who's looking to make up for that loss of clean sheet now that the scoreline is 2-1 with this free kick from give or take 37 yards away from goal. Serving it. Ladner, left-footed effort, interrupted. Ladner, another opportunity here. Way too much juice behind the pass. Creative idea. The execution not there for BCFC, as this one has now turned itself into a nail-biter. One could think that so many opportunities for Brooklyn City FC did not end up in the back of the net, and in not taking advantage, suddenly the game is a lot closer. Ruby Hogue, aggressive defending. As she looks for space, STA, Sarah Oswald, wrestling off one Brooklynite. Throw in now for BCFC. The Brooklynites unable to take that ball away cleanly. Triangle passes from STA as Lauren Alley gets herself involved. Throw in for STA in the opposition's half. Give or take 50 yards away from goal from the spot of this throw-in. Ruby Hogue cutting it down. 20 minutes left without stoppage time included. We didn't see any in the first half, and I doubt we'll see much in the second half, as the assistant referee has indicated a corner kick to take place for STA. One white jersey surrounding Perry inside her own 6-yard box, practically on her own goal line, in fact. Nobody guarding the near nor far posts, one-armed raised. STA looking for the equalizer. Left-footed service toward the far post that slips past Perry. STA unable to punish Perry. However, the referee has indicated an infraction here. And that's a penalty. Hold on. We'll see from the referee signal here. That is in fact a penalty. It is a penalty kick for STA due to a handball infraction. It slipped past Perry, likely because of the wind and because of the curl, but it ricocheted off an extended arm of a Brooklynite player here. So Jasmine Watu has the task of equalizing. Perry does stop it. Perry makes up for it. A player of the match worthy performance as well from the BCFC number 0, Lena Perry. Diving the right way, denying the equalizer from 12 yards out. A call that stunned everybody. Lena Perry rising to the occasion. A lioness in goal. Absolutely dominant inside her own penalty area. And apparently on her goal line as well. Uwatu shot it toward the left-hand side, though it was more left center if we were to place it. Of course, on a map of sorts. Lena Perry not only dove the right way, but she prevented any rebound. That's arguably the hardest part for a goalkeeper. Not only do you have to stomp it when you're a netminder, but you also have to make sure that your parry goes in the right direction and doesn't result in a feed for the offense of the opposition. Lena Perry might have just rescued 3 points for her side, but STA has a response here perhaps. Uatu toward Oswald. Perry recovers. Kaylee Goodrich and Lena Perry both contesting for now for that BCFC player of the match at this moment. Kaylee Goodrich with 2 goals, Lena Perry with firm and solid goalkeeping, not only from the penalty stop, but from actions all around. Free kick here for the local team. Brooklyn City FC. Good header by Zanelli. Well positioned was the STA defender. I believe it was Ali. Played toward Karstensen. Crossed. Far post. Exposed. Nobody on it. Perry chasing after it. Beating Oswald. When do you get to see a goalkeeper do that? A shoulder-to-shoulder charge. How often do you get to see a goalkeeper turn herself into a sweeping center back of sorts? Come on now. If you're not watching this game with a big smile, then I don't know what to tell you. You rarely get to see that. As she wrestles the ball away, even 50-50, a power struggle, I should say, for the ball. Speaking of power struggles here, Lucy McShane keeping the ball close, retreating toward Dolan. Dolan lobbing it forward. Zanelli. It worked once, but not the second time. Cavalieri doing her job. 15 minutes left in this match. It looked like BCFC had really its foot to the gas pedal for a good chunk of this game. And suddenly, only 1 goal separates these two. STA winning it back. She would have been offside anyway, I believe, considering Dolan's positioning. Speaking of Dolan, receiving the throw-in, lobbing it forward. Zanelli trying to accelerate. She's denied by Catherine Giglio. Goodrich, who has 2 goals to her name, playing it laterally. Ladner, good idea, but even better defending from STA. Cavalieri forced out of position, but she likewise does her job. Poking it away as now she has to zigzag her way back to her own back line. Offside is the call against STA. (2-1) is the scoreline. Jasmine Uatu scored the first after some impressive dribbling here, the first goal that is, for STA. She was denied, however, an equalizer thanks to Lena Perry's penalty stop. Lena Perry was almost teasing the borderline of her own 18-yard box. Ruby Hogue. Ruby, normally calm and cool on the ball. You could see her idea in action, but she was simply not on the same page as Samantha McGurgan. Ruby Hogue to Zanelli. Zanelli, I think for the first time in this match, losing an aerial duel. That's how confident and dominant she was, or has been, better said. STA, now just 30 yards away, now less, from perhaps an equalizer. Cross, Lena Perry, off the post! Off the post! Oh, no way! It's made its way into the back of the net in the eyes of the assistant referee. Oh, that is unbelievable! It has found that upper corner somehow, some way. It is 2-2. Jaws have dropped here, mine included. Somehow, It made its way into the literal upper 90. That is outstanding. A cross-gone shot. Well, that is unreal. It is 2-2. That is absolutely unreal. I mean, we were implying that it would take something special to beat Lena Perry tonight. But never, ever did we have this in the books. Never did we have this in our minds. A cross-gone shot off the post so perfectly that it exits outward. The refereeing staff confident in that decision. 2-2 is the equalizer. Stunning game here. As now Brooklyn City FC must now adapt psychologically to this game, considering that a 2-goal lead has been surmounted by STA. Final 10 minutes. Throw in here. Very tight spot. You can't be any closer than that to the corner kick flag. And according to the assistant referee, that ball never entered the field of play. I'm not sure about that one. We may have the better angle here due to our height advantage, luckily. Close call. Regardless, Brooklyn City FC. Oh, that's a handball. No doubt. Now, the defender's arguing her case that she intended to play the ball with a legal part of the body. And in doing so, that bounced off her hand. Always something that is always in contention recently. We've seen it in the Nations League. We've seen it in other contests as well. Although for now, it's still a free kick. A white wall consisting of 5 players. Kaylee Goodrich stands over the ball for the hat trick, for what could have been the game winner, off the visage of an STA player. It was just missing that height. 2-2 is the scoreline. Jasmine Owatu scored the first STA goal in this half. Again, finding that far post with a lot of class. The second goal just minutes ago, in fact, in the final 15-minute range. A replayable moment in reality. Everybody had thought it ricocheted off the far post, but in reality, it had bounced off the inner portion of the upper 90 from a cross that turned itself into a shot against Lena Perry. And again, there's not really much she could have done for either goal. She has done her job through and through. Goodrich. Shot from outside the 18-yard box. That one never going to test Paredes. And although Goodrich's first 2 shots from outside the penalty area resulted in goals, the last 3 have resulted in shots progressively farther and farther away from goal. Nicolisi will re-enter the game. Nicolisi, in her time as a substitute in that first half, likewise nearly made an impact to the scoreboard when she took the ball away and nearly glided her way into the back of the net had it not been for a starfish block from Paredes. So Paredes, with this goal kick, Goodrich intercepting it with the torso. Samantha, using her speed, Samantha puts it into play. Paredes with the loose ball recovery. And let's remember, she has a nuclear leg. Both goalkeepers do. This one made its way toward the halfway line. Not exactly her farthest punt. Of course, we had seen them go from coast to coast on both goalkeeping ends, but it's still an STA ball as she muscles her way into the opposition's third. Played toward Jasmine Uwatu. Jasmine Uwatu, good connections. Sarah Oswald was never going to get a piece of it. Ruby Hogue doing her job. Alongside, of course, Lucy McShane, as Lena Perry, it hits the crossbar of the American football field goalposts, but not that of the soccer goal itself. Huge sigh of relief once more from the local fans and perhaps the local bench here. Score is 2-2 here. Oh, that could be a giveaway, as STA is happy with the corner kick. Re-entering the game is Gabby Klaus, who was never afraid of an aerial challenge herself. However, staying in play will be Samantha McGurgan. Well, rarely do you get to see a game like this. One team had a 2-0 advantage in the first half. Suddenly it's 2-2 here. And all in between, we had seen a penalty call, a penalty no call, not necessarily in that order, and last but certainly not least, an equalizer that resulted from a cross-gone shot. This could be 3-2. Goes wide, and that could be a goal kick. Had she not touched it, in fact, she's looking for a counter of her own. The fullback dashing away from one as Piotrowski is ultimately slowed down by the opposition's defense. It's a throw-in for BCFC. Samantha McGurgan can now exit the field of play, being replaced by Gabby Klaus. So again, a penalty no call, a penalty call, a penalty stop, and a referee's decision of goal. We all had to make sure it wasn't a phantom goal, of course. Whipped in perfectly to the far post to the degree that it hit the upper 90 woodwork. But in the eyes of the assistant referee and lead referee, 100% of that sphere entered. It went beyond the goal line. Final 5 minutes here. On reality, final 4, now that we see ourselves in the 86th. Any mistake here would likely be costly. It would likely be lethal here. Goodrich, the first line of defense there. That could be a booking. Left-footed through pass. It's a race for the ball. Ultimately won by STA Paredes, clearing it away. That's Ruby Hogue winning the ball first. Amanda Dolan putting it back into the air. Kaylee Goodrich, her first touch to be tested. Goodrich scanning. Goodrich has 2 on her. Escaped from 2. She made it look so easy. She's completely onside. Inside the penalty area. Nicolisi Paredes! Goal! Zanelli finds her goal! Moments of placing shots on target, just barely missing the mark. She finds the rebound, a poacher's goal, all about positioning. Zanelli makes it 3-2 for Brooklyn City FC. Kaylee Goodrich orchestrating the entire play, dribbling away from 3, playing it toward Nicolisi. And Nicolisi herself placing it on target once again. And that all culminated in this Zanelli game winner, perhaps. 3-2 is the scoreline. Goodrich got a right-footed poke. Not enough to take it away from Karstensen. Good play, Sarah Oswald. Amanda Dolan testing her as well. Play toward the right-hand side. Another cross! That wasn't too far away from goal, in fact. It forced Perry into a save. Either that or into the slightest misdirection, deviation of the ball. Really hard to tell from this angle at the end of the day, but Perry, once more, just doing her job as a goalkeeper. Brooklyn City Football Club crossed, diving header. A respectable effort, although now Perry can burn some seconds here. Final 90 seconds of regulation time. Will there be stoppage time, and if so, how much? That is the question. Perry with the goal kick. STA taking it away. That's Karstensen on the ball. Perry exiting her goal line. Risky goalkeeping, though she has some good defenders to help her out. The team in black and turquoise now just 60 seconds away, or better said, 50 seconds away now from a solid 3-2 victory. And I think I heard 3 minutes of stoppage time. So we are anticipating 3 minutes of stoppage time, 3 heart-pounding minutes, regardless of one's affiliation here. Kaylee Goodrich impeding that play from STA. It's a throw-in for Brooklyn City FC. 3 minutes of stoppage time according to the lead referee. Final 10 seconds here of regulation time. Play it toward Zanelli. Zanelli, Nicolisi offside. Tough call, but ultimately the right one. We are now in stoppage time. The wins building up alongside the drama here. Brooklyn City FC had a 2-goal lead. In the second half, however, within the final 15-minute range, and in fact with just a 5-minute separation between both those goals, STA found not only the far post once, but twice. Final 2 minutes and 30 seconds here. For now has the game winner. Not a lot of time left here. Final 2 minutes. Back-to-back balls here for STA. Taken away by Dolan and co. Forcing the mistouch from her opponent. Lauren Alley now retreats. Gabby Klaus would be left all alone. Hardly anybody marking her, as Zanelli once more wins the aerial duel at the cost of a throw-in. Some claims of a foul throw here. The referee says otherwise. Zanelli now turning into an extra center back essentially here. Part-time striker, part-time defender. That's what these sorts of situations would have you do. A 3-2 thriller that for now would give Brooklyn City FC a dominant hold of second place. Lucy McShane burning some seconds. We are in the final minute of stoppage time. As the referee allows for the free kick to be taken here. Cleared away. Goodrich. Ooh, barking perhaps some frustration at the referee. And now that's a yellow card against the BCFC coach. And she has to be careful here. The referee unafraid of bookings. In fact, I think that's the first one against Brooklyn City FC as a whole, now that I think about it. Either way, it's not the first time we've seen the referee pull out a yellow card. And in the process, a whole minute has gone away. A whole minute has died. Will the arbitration staff account for this, as Paredes has the STA world on her shoulders here? Across, the referee impeding her progress as well. The counterattack. Oh, she's thinking about the volley. And it goes off target at the end, but it doesn't matter. Brooklyn City Football Club finds the 3-2 victory after a 2-0 lead was cut down to 2-2. Equalized, of course, by STA. It was Katrina Zanelli who, with a poacher's goal, found the game winner in the dying minutes of the game. An edge of your seat thriller, without a doubt. So many chances for both teams, both goalkeepers putting on some first-class performances. But at the end, Brooklyn City Football Club finds that winning goal, a poacher's goal. What a game this has been. Kaylee Goodrich with the opening 2 goals, both of them from outside the 18-yard box. The first one toward the bottom corner of the near post. The second goal practically whipped into the back of the net. However, in the second half, within the final 15-minute range or so, STA found the 2-1 scoreline when Jasmine Uatu decided to take on the whole back line all by herself and capitalized upon the opportunity with some excellent finesse. That being said, just minutes later, and we do mean minutes, STA found what could have been one of the most confusing, controversial, yet outright outstanding equalizers when a cross made its way into the far post. I don't think the kicker herself intended on placing the ball into the back of the net, but one surely cannot complain when your cross hits exactly the woodwork of the upper 90. No exaggeration, no joke. It took the refereeing staff to confirm that it was in fact a goal to make it 2-2. However, in the final minutes of the game, Kaylee Goodrich, once more, with a trio of defenders surrounding her, pinpointed her target in the form of Gabby Nicolisi. And Nicolisi was able to put it on target. It forced a save out of Paredes, the STA number 1, but in the process, the rebound was perfectly there for Katrina Zanelli, the number 44, officially scoring Brooklyn City Football Club's 16th goal of the season. Not a bad way to find a game winner. Only a matter of time for Zanelli, as we had previously mentioned. And for now, Brooklyn City FC likewise has exactly a 2 goals scored to 1 goal conceded ratio. 16 goals scored across the campaign so far, 8 allowed for now in this campaign. That being said, do stay tuned for some post-match action. You have been watching the WPSL right here on Game and Frame.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The salt air case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together. I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
That's a good bit of footwork there by Spalding. It's gone for a spacious shot! It's magnificent by Spalding! tries to go through the legs of Richmond. Richmond stuffs him down. And through three. Through, my goodness. Nutmeg after nutmeg for the captain.
Aim towards finding the second goal of the match. Nika gets the back ball. Nika swerves past three defenders. He finds the shot from Afif, and they find that goal that they were looking for. Afif scores a 2-1 lead for Red Hook FC. What a move there by Nika once again to create an opening for his team.
Thompson turns that clearance into a pass. Lovely footwork from Bailey Hill.
Nicky, what a ball that is, and Jack Stainrod has brought it down. He might be in here. Jack Stainrod, 2. Give him a sight of goal, and he will bite your hand off. It was a sensational ball by Jacob Woznicki. And once Jack Stainrod was in behind, was there any doubt as to the outcome?
Another drive here for Cedar Stars rush denied by the Staten Island Monarchs. As Jaheim Foston stares back at his opponent, having out-dribbled him first. Foston putting on a show. This is starting to look like street soccer now.
And still now everyone hacking at it, chopping at it. Ridge Robinson, he lunges forward, he comes up with the ball, he goes for the shot! And he goes for the goal. My goodness, a hat trick here for the captain.
Anderson brought down, back up on his feet. Anderson, oh, beautiful move. He's still going. Jaganjor Yangbi. Yangbi shows off some pace behind Oberuk. Yangbi could be one-on-one. McGovern comes over. Yangbi screws it. Espinosa 1-0. Yangbi a debut assist, and Espinosa has his 7th goal of the season. He has the last 2 goals overall for Richmond, and they get the counter going like they did last week against a team that has much more possession than them, and they've scored to open up the match and make it 1-0.
As now Matthew Heath. A weirdly chilly evening here in mid-June. Regardless of that, however, it's Brooklyn City Football Club that emerges victorious 3-2 versus its STA foes. Alongside me first is Kaylee Goodrich. Kaylee, you were responsible for the first 2 goals of this match, both of which occurring from outside the 18-yard box. So again, we have to pick your brain here. Was that always in the books? Was this always a tactic for BCFC to really punish the opposition from that distance?
Not really a tactic, but my coaches always tell me, like, if I have a shot, take it. So that's what I did.
Well, they gave you an inch of space, and you took more than just a yard. You took the back of the net, in fact. We could also talk about the final goal in this game that really dictated the 3-2 finale of this whole dramatic piece. You saw a trio of defenders surrounding you. How were you able to pinpoint Nicolisi in the first place before that turned into a rebound for Zanelli?
I honestly saw Gabby. She was
can
making
get closer
a run.
as well.
Okay. I saw her wide open making a perfect run, so I just slipped it in. And then, of course, she followed the play, and I was honestly more excited than that goal than my own goal. So I was screaming on the field.
We were able to hear that all the way from up there. I imagine I was wondering who that was, and now we can confirm that was you.
Yes.
Congratulations on the win, on the 2 goals, and on the de facto pre-assist, if you want to label that as such.
I'll take it. Thank
Of
you
course.
so much.
Thank you, Kelly. Now, of course, we have alongside us as well Katrina Zanelli. So, Zanelli, game winner. So many shots saved, so many denied. You see the game winner hit the back of the net, poacher's finish. What was that feeling like?
I mean, it felt awesome. We worked so hard all game, so just to have like the final piece fall into place was a great feeling, yeah.
I was so excited.
Now, Zanelli, we also have to talk about maybe the psychological aspect of that 2-2 scoreline at one point, especially in the dying minutes of the game. What was going through your mind as part of that front line, which has produced so many goals so far this season for BCFC? What was going on there?
I mean, we knew we had to get more goals. We didn't want to like lose the lead and not come back. So, yeah, just like working hard and yeah, really wanted one. So.
Fair enough. I think maybe perhaps the final piece here would be, what was it like to hold the nerves down? 3-2 is the scoreline, but suddenly STA is now going all or nothing. What was it like contributing, as I had said earlier, not being only a part-time striker at one point, but also being a part-time defender? What was that like?
Well, those last final minutes when you're up, I think they're fun. Like really high energy and just like getting the ball out, working as a team. And the defender, I mean, our keeper did awesome, and all the defenders. So it's just fun defending, holding it down. Yeah.
Holding down the fortress for the 3-2 win, scoring the game winner. This has been, of course, Katrina Zanelli. Thank you very much, Zanelli, and congrats on the goal and on the win.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, of course, this wouldn't be complete without the netminder herself in bright blue and bright turquoise. It is Lena Perry. Perry, responsible for so many saves, but perhaps the most impressive one that might have indirectly determined this result, the penalty stop. Talk us through what had happened, what was going through your mind as that call was, of course, delivered.
Yeah, so there was a corner kick and a lot of chaos in the box. I went up to go and catch it, and I was pushed, and the ball went through my hands. And then we had a handball behind, and I didn't know who it was, but there was a penalty kick, and I was kind of just like focused on trying my best to get anything on the ball, and I did the best I could.
And clearly you did phenomenally. Not only did you stop the shot itself to the accolades of your teammates, but you also prevented the rebound, which is arguably the toughest part for any goalkeeper, aside from obviously the stop itself. However, we also have to talk about your overall game. Today you were just simply unbeatable. You were sweeping left and right, practically playing likewise part-time holding midfielder in your own penalty area of sorts. So I would also like to talk about maybe that facet of the game with you regarding Brooklyn City FC's style of play.
Yeah, today it was super windy, so I did the best that I could. You never know what the conditions are going to be weather-wise. So a lot of wind with us in the first half. And in the second half, we had to really hold possession. It was really tricky to try to clear the ball. So we tried to strategize and did the best that we could to hold possession.
Well, everyone was absolutely ball savvy, including you, of course, in your own goal and outside for that matter, firm as ever. And maybe the final question here is, at this moment, according to the live standings of which we have access at the moment, Brooklyn City FC is 1 point away from the top of the table. Clarkstown Soccer Club has that spot for now. So what is a victory like this meaning to you and your teammates?
Well, I love playing with this team. I love everyone, like players, coaches. When we play together, it's the best feeling ever. So as long as we play our game, I'm really excited to go against anyone. And today was a team effort, and I'm so proud of every single one of us.
And deservedly so. Congrats on the win. Congrats on the penalty stop, of course. And overall on a fantastic game. Congratulations. Thank you very much, Lena. Of course, behind the camera has been Lucas Paramo. I have been Sean Cabrera, and this has been the Women's Premier Soccer League, a match in which Brooklyn City FC holds on to its lead eventually after it being surmounted. Once 2-0 thanks to Kaylee Goodrich's outside of the box goals. STA equalized perhaps in the final quarter hour of the second half, only so that Zanelli finds the game winner via a poacher's goal. Again, 3-2 for Brooklyn City Football Club versus STA. You have been watching the Women's Premier Soccer League Metropolitan Conference right here on Game in Frame. Thank you very much and have a good night.